In 1857, David Livingstone was invited to receive a tribute and speak to students at Cambridge University in England. He had left behind a prosperous life in Europe to preach the gospel across Africa. As he stood in front of the students, he was just a thin, slender man who had been stricken 31 times by deadly African fevers and had one of his arms resting in a sling after an encounter with a lion. England celebrated him as a hero due to his life of self-denial and sacrifice. But now, in front of those attentive students, Livingstone offered his perspective on sacrifice. People talk of the sacrifice I have made in spending so much of my life in Africa. Can that be called a sacrifice which is simply paid back as a small part of a great debt owing to our God, which we can never repay? Is that a sacrifice which brings its own blessed reward in healthful activity, the consciousness of doing good, peace of mind, and a bright hope of a glorious destiny hereafter? Away with the word in such a view, and with such a thought. I never made a sacrifice. Of this we ought not to talk when we remember the great sacrifice which he made who left his Father's throne on high to give himself for us. Words like these remind us that the true sacrificial offering came from Calvary. Every offering we give to the cause of God is infinitely less than what we receive from the gift of the cross. However, in our sphere, we are called to offer a sacrificial offering to God. This means that when determining the proportion of our income that we give as regular offering, we must select a percentage that challenges us to trust in God's care and blessings. This is one of the reasons God decided that while the tithe would be 10% of our income, it is for the worshiper to set the percentage of their income to be given as a regular offering. Ellen G. White says that in the Bible system of tithes and offerings, the amounts paid by different persons will, of course, vary greatly since they are proportioned to the income. Therefore, she also says, how much more eager will every faithful steward be to enlarge the proportion of gifts to be placed in the Lord's treasure house? Does the proportion or percentage of your income given as offering genuinely represent a sacrifice? Is it leading you to trust Him more and to live by faith? Is it not time for you to enlarge that percentage so that you may learn how to live by faith? The time is rapidly coming when all that is not dedicated to God and His cause will be lost forever. Let us now invest all we can while there is still time and learn how to live by faith, trusting that He is still able to provide for us. As we return our tithe and promise, which is our regular and systematic offering, may we put our desires last and God first.